Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this June 30th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're glad that you are here with us today. If you want to find our content, go to EOA.network. That takes you to a link tree where you can find the locations of all of the places where our content is distributed, our Facebook, our YouTube channel, our website. We also have a Roku channel. If you want to download the Roku app, you can find our content there. Here in just a little bit, we are going to have Brady Walters, who is the new fire chief for the LeGrand Rural Fire District. And Kyle's with me, but he's remote. Hey, how are you, man?
I'm good. Let's see. Let me try to lean this forward just a little bit. The
Where are you
wind kind
at?
of died down.
Where are you at,
I'm in
man?
Pendleton at the Little League All-Star Tournament.
Cool.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
going okay over there?
This is day two. So far, yeah. It's the weather in the morning's been crap. It's cold. It's sprinkling right now, but as the day goes on, you can probably see by my face, the sun definitely came out.
Yeah.
I got burned up yesterday.
Yeah. Did you? Well, and so,
Yeah.
so so the rain probably is a little bit of a relief, or no?
No.
No.
I'd rather it was like 80 right now.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, it'll be fine once I get moving, but like just it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I haven't moved much yet, and it's like trying to get the motor going in the cold is a lot harder than trying to get the motor going when it's nice and warm.
Yeah. Now, is this the tournament that they had here last year?
It absolutely is. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it
So,
moves around every year.
but hopefully it will come back to LeGrand at some point. Is that the
It
hope?
definitely will. I mean, they put in for it, and they kind of move it around the district. So there's quite a few teams. There's teams all the way from Ontario to Triangle, which is like Helix area,
Yeah.
and up to Wallowa that are in districts. Any of those teams, if they have the ability to host it, can host it.
Yeah. Do we have any of the LeGrand teams or the Valley
Uh-oh.
teams over and stuff?
There. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Wonder what that. I have 5G right here with the new UF. The
Yeah.
internet, man. Yeah. So it's just
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no. It's just the teams that have the fields to host it. I mean, obviously, it takes a lot of fields. There's over 40 teams here, so you got a lot of games going on at one time, and a lot of different age levels. And if you have the facilities to do it, which we do, super windy here.
He'll be right back. Yeah. You can just
I'm
hold
here. I'm here.
You can just hold the
It's
phone
just
if you
super
want.
windy too. No, we're good.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep my phone pointed down, and it's just really windy here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's not the greatest weather right now. They're just gonna have to look down on me, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Do you
But yeah,
go ahead.
no, I'm here.
Yeah. Do we are there any how are the LeGrand teams doing over there?
Well, I mean, am I doing a sports report today?
No, I'm just there are LeGrand terms. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was
Give-
going to talk about during the sports
Oh,
report.
I'm sorry. Yes. No, I didn't know. Yeah. So, hey, so take it away, man. Do it.
Bam Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit in LeGrand. Go check them out, man. They have everything from kendamas to they even have NFL, like trading cards now. They have Chrome, which is super cool. Sometimes they have that new squishy stuff. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called, but it's crazy how many people go for this stuff. I've seen TikTok videos of people like running into stores and fighting over this squishy little cube. I don't remember what it was called. But, yeah, Hobby Habit in LeGrand, 411 First Street. Check them out. I'm over here at the Little League District 3 All-Star Tournament in Pendleton. 47 teams are here, and they're They're vying for district championship to be able to go to state, and this is the one that was held in LeGrand last year. So far, the LeGrand teams on the girls' side, the 12U team lost yesterday. They're playing actually today at 9 o'clock. The game that I'm at, loser out game. The 10U team won against Triangle yesterday in softball, which is pretty cool. The junior team, which is the 14-year-olds, kick off on Thursday. And then on the boys' side, the 10U team lost yesterday. The 12U team lost yesterday. They play today at 11:30, and that's the next game that I'll be going to. It's super exciting, man. There's tons of people here. There's a bunch of kids, and it's just, the atmosphere is one of a kind. Here in Pendleton, they have it split up. Half of the games, the boys' side, are at Little League Park. The other half, the girls' side, is down here at Community Fields. And then once the juniors start, they'll play on completely different fields. They'll play up at the middle school and then at Bob White Field, because they have to play on bigger fields. It's one of my favorite times of the year, obviously. Shrine is also another important part of the year. Benny, let's check out that video. I don't have a countdown right now, so I have to just kind of judge it. I don't have Benny in my ear saying 10, 9, 8. But anyways, yeah, Shrine, July 25th. We'll start the stream at 6 o'clock. The game will kick off at 7, but in that hour between, we'll be showing all kinds of cool videos. They have all the stuff down on the field for the pregame. It'll be myself and Willie Mack on the mics again for the 6th straight year, and it's super exciting. We could still put some ads in, so if you have a business that needs some advertising, put it on the Shrine. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people watching this game. It's super popular, and there's teams from our kids from all over Oregon, including LeGrand. It's a great time of year. It's a great football game, and I'm expecting this year's game to be just as good as ever. It's one of those games where you kind of just hope they score some points, but a lot of times they don't put up a ton of points because they only practice together for a week. So I think with the East this year, though, I think their offense is going to be high-powered enough that they're going to score some points. So, yeah, Shrine, July 25th, 6 p.m. start. We'll see you there. AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit in LeGrand. Just on a minute.
Cool, man. Hey,
Yeah.
Thanks for being here this morning.
Yes, sir.
All righty.
I'll be posting pictures soon.
All right. Hey, thanks, bud. Talk to you soon.
Yep.
All right. Hey, Benny, let's take a look outside at that weather cam. And it's kind of, I don't know, what is that? It's not warm today, but I don't think it was raining this morning. What's the weather forecast? Let's look at those graphics. So 73 today, 15% chance of precipitation. 77 tomorrow, 80, 81, 86, 85. So it's going to be warming up over the weekend, this 4th of July weekend. Be careful out there. And it looks like there's not much chance of rain. But, man, we've got a really nice dose of rain over the last couple of days, which hopefully will kind of take some of the edge off of the dryness out there. So just want to be sure and remind you of a couple of events that are happening. So at noon on the 4th of July, we will be streaming the Embler Parade. I don't know if you have that graphic, Benny. The Embler Parade that will be happening. So be sure and tune into that. That's always a lot of fun. That's if you're looking for something to do, make your way out there. We'll be setting up about noon, or excuse me, about 11 o'clock. But it's just a really nice parade. And then That evening, we will also be streaming Thunder at the Peaks. That event begins, did they say 5 p.m., Bennett? I think is when people start showing up. You can start showing up, and there will be vendors that will be up above at the golf course. You'll be able to park in various places down below. You can't normally. You can't take your car up to Thunder to the golf course, and so you've got to park down below and walk. There will be places where people can get rides. You can get a ride to get up there, and so on and so forth. As we get more of that information, we'll be sure and post that. But again, that's a great event. The food trucks and vendors and stuff that kicks off at 5 o'clock. If you go out to the golf course, it's really beautiful because from the clubhouse, just straight out from the clubhouse, is where the fireworks are stationed. And you have the opportunity to take your family and kind of sit on the little mounds that are surrounding that area. And it's one of the most stunning places that I've seen where you can watch the fireworks because you're just right there. I mean, you can see you're close enough that you can see the guys running around and lighting the fireworks and doing that stuff right there. The fireworks will start, just as soon as it gets dark, which is normally around 9:30 or 10. As soon as the sky is dark enough, then they'll light off the fireworks. So anyhow, don't miss that. That's also a really good thing. Am I forgetting anything, Bennett, before we go on? Okay. So, all righty. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with Brady Walters, the new fire chief for the LeGrand Rural Fire District. All right, we're back with Brady Walters, new to LeGrand area, right?
That's right, yep.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, glad to have you with us today. And you are the new the fire chief at LeGrand Rural Fire District.
That's right.
So help people understand what's the difference between the LeGrand Rural Fire District and the LeGrand Fire Department.
Sure. So LeGrand Fire Department is a city department, just like the police, and it's under the city of LeGrand. We are the rural district, so we provide protection for the area around the city of LeGrand and the rural areas outside city limits. And we also provide protection for Island City. So our kind of nickname would be the Island City Fire Department, but our official name is LeGrand Rural because we encompass a 135 square mile area around the city of LeGrand.
Because the fire, where it's housed, is in LeGrand, right?
Our station is Island City.
I'm sorry. Yes, yeah.
Off McAllister Road
yeah.
there.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I live in Island City, but I didn't know that. So then, do you cover Island City like it's your city cover, or is it just included in the rural district? I mean, how
so it's pretty much part of the rural district. So I think a lot of people don't understand the nuances of different fire districts. So as opposed to a city department, which is under the city, like the City of LeGrand Fire Department, we are what's called a special service district. So we're not under a city or any kind of county or the state directly. We're kind of our own entity. And we have an elected board of directors that oversees the district. And they're essentially my bosses, so they represent our citizens, and the board makes those governing decisions, and then they appoint the fire chief, which would be me, and and then I run the district for them. But we have like our own independent tax rate and base that's different than any other governing body.
So then how do you pay for? How is a fire district paid for? And yeah.
So ours is taxed. All our citizens, it's based on property tax, like most other taxes in Oregon. So it's assessed at 93 cents about per thousand for our citizens of our district.
So then all of the property in your area is, I mean, like the home that I live in, there's a tax.
Yep.
And that goes into a pool that helps cover the expenses for the La Grande Rural Fire District.
That's right, and we have, compared to a full-time 365-day fire department, we're predominantly volunteer, so our costs are fairly low if you compare that to a full-time fire department. We do have a few part-time staff, and then in the summertime, like right now, we're using the State Fire Marshal's Wildfire Prevention Grant, which we were grateful to have for another year. So we have staff that's on duty during peak hours during the summer to respond to calls, and the idea is they can get on scene quickly because they're already at the station and knock fires down before they blow out of control. So that really improves our response times during the summer months.
So on a regular basis, then you're full-time.
That's right, yeah.
And then what is the rest of your paid staff like?
Well, I'm the only full-time employee. We have a part-time office administrator, and we have some folks that work part-time helping with training and various other things. But the rest of my staff is volunteer, so they are regular people, just like you or anybody else. We have teachers, we have bankers, we have business owners, and they literally drop what they're doing to respond on a call to help their neighbors who are in need. So a little motto I'm trying to bring to our district is neighbors helping neighbors, because we're literally the people that live next door to you. Again, they'll drop what they're doing at work, leave a family meal, get up in the middle of the night to go help somebody in need. And so it's a really special group of people that do something like that. Because obviously there's dangers and things that come with firefighting as well. But these guys are all eager to do it, and it's not about the money, it's about kind of giving back to your community.
Yeah. So how many volunteers do you have now, Brady?
We have about 20 right now on the books, yeah.
And do you need more?
Always looking for more, yeah. I would just about never turn people away.
Yeah.
So we're actually in the midst of trying to start what's called an auxiliary or support group. So this is a group of volunteers that aren't interested in what we would call like traditional or combat firefighting when they're running into burning buildings and stuff like that. These are just folks that would help us out on big scenes, and they can do stuff like make sure our guys are getting hydrated and rested, help with traffic control and kind of scene management, things like that. So it'll be a great opportunity for people that, again, don't want that, like, or can't meet the physical challenges or demands of the job, or just don't feel like being in as much danger, I guess, as a traditional firefighter might be.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, tell me about your background. Where you were born, how'd you get into firefighting? I mean, just kind of give me the story. Yeah.
Sure. Well, it's kind of a long, complicated story, but born and raised here in Oregon, in Medford, so originally from Southern Oregon. I got my start in emergency services pretty early through an Explorer program, so that's kind of a branch of the Boy Scouts. And I started doing that when I was 15 years old with the ambulance service down there, Mercy Flights. So I kind of fell in love with emergency medical services, and there's a close tie, obviously, between that and the fire service. So shortly after that, I started volunteering as a firefighter down there, and I did ski patrol as well. And I decided that's what I wanted to do for work. So I went to school at Chemeketa in Salem for paramedic school, which is a 2-year program. And while I was there as a student with Marion County Fire, which is another fire district in the Salem area, and ended up as a station lieutenant there. So I supervised a fire station, and the resident programs are cool because essentially I was working for them, but then they paid for my schooling. So it was kind of a good deal for both of us. That's a great program that I think there might be an opportunity for here in LeGrand in the future as well. But most of my career actually was working for the National Park Service. I was a law enforcement and emergency services ranger, and I worked all over the country in different national parks. I was at the Grand Canyon, Everglades in Florida. I worked in Hawaii, and then I ended up at Crater Lake back here in Oregon. I was trying to kind of get home, if you will. I think a lot of people don't realize everything that happens behind the scenes in the national parks. A park like the Grand Canyon gets almost 7 million visitors a year, so you have all the same problems that like a city would have essentially.
Oh, wow.
And so parks have their own law enforcement, like a police department almost, their own fire services, their own ambulance services. And then you get stuff like search and rescues, you know, people hiking that get lost or injured on trails and that kind of thing that we have to go get. So I did that for about 12 years total, starting out as a seasonal, just working during peak seasons, and then ending up full-time year-round with them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But it's definitely a bachelor's job. When I met my wife, Jenna, we were looking at options that would be better for her because the Park Service requires you to kind of move around quite a bit. You live where you're stationed, which can be pretty isolating in government housing. So she's a nurse, and we were looking at opportunities outside the Park Service. I ended up working as a sheriff's deputy for Yamhill County, McMinnville area, and I was a patrol deputy with them for 4 years. I was one of the search and rescue coordinators with them, and I helped bring a paramedic deputy program to the county, which was essentially giving medical gear to the deputies, because oftentimes we could be first on scene to something critical and start care before like the ambulance would arrive.
Right.
But after 4 years of that, I've been a volunteer firefighter essentially this whole time, and really had a passion for that. I wanted to get kind of into the fire service full time. I was a deputy chief for Hoskins Kings Valley Fire District, which is a small fire district outside Corvallis. That's where I came from before here, and it's pretty similar to LeGrand Rural, really. All of a volunteer predominantly in a really rural area, and I have a passion for both volunteers because, again, they're people that are literally doing it to help their community, to give back out of the goodness of their hearts. And then rural areas, you know, we all kind of have to rely on each other. It's just different than a city, you know, and out here I've noticed that in particular, like all the different agencies work really well together. Any big incident, we all kind of team up and try to take care of it together, which is really great to see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, what a great amount of experience, and so wide and varied. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, all of the places where you've served are a little bigger. I mean, you've been in some remote areas along the way.
Definitely.
So, but now you're here in LeGrand. I mean, the Valley. What's your first thoughts and stuff? What are you appreciating about it?
I love the area. I mean, I'm an avid mountain biker, skier. There's all kinds of outdoor stuff to do here.
Right,
so,
yeah.
So that's really awesome. And the community, it's really obvious that it's a small community for good or bad. But yeah, everybody knows each other, and I like that kind of tight-knit feel.
Yeah.
And I think that lends well to like my district again, where you know, my guys aren't doing it for it's not just a job. They're doing it to help their neighbors out, and
right.
And that's what we are. So I think that lends well to the way our department's set up, at least.
Yeah. Let's talk about volunteers for a minute, because I've been in a number of situations where I was the paid person and I had volunteers, and then I've been in the volunteer situation, and it's I think volunteers are just sacred. I mean, they really are.
Yes.
I mean, I've had staff members. I've been in the executive director position and had staff members, and then volunteers under them. And I've had to help the staff members understand that it's like, you understand the volunteers, you can be replaced. I can find somebody else to pay to get in your position.
Right.
But that volunteer who gives more time than they could ever be paid for, they're pretty sacred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we frankly don't have the overhead to have full-time staff. I mean, it's really it's really expensive to run a full-time fire department. So we really rely on our volunteers. I think most people don't realize when they call 911, they just expect somebody to show up, and they don't realize in the U.S. about 85% of firefighters are volunteer. They're not paid people.
Wow, 85%?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a big deal, and I mean, I got to say the requirements on volunteers are getting more and more stringent, which is kind of hurting us. Just the amount of training and commitment that's required for our people. I think a lot of times when folks sign up, it's all the right reasons. They're wanting to give back to their community. They're wanting to help out. But then you overload them with like kind of an administrative burden, all the training that's required. I mean, to get somebody up and running takes months and months. We have to put them through Fire Academy. If we put them through EMT or EMR training, that's several more months. And volunteers aren't free. It's actually about 25, 30 grand to fully outfit a new volunteer. So once we get all the equipment and training accounted for.
Now, do you guys cover the expenses for the volunteers? Or?
Yep, that's what our taxpayers pay for is our volunteers, our facility, and the equipment like fire apparatus. And that's kind of one of the challenges we're seeing now. I mean, one of our first line engines is over 30 years old. The National Fire Protection Association, which is kind of they provide all the standards for our industry, recommends that frontline rigs get retired after 20 years. So we're already well over that, but a new fire engine these days costs $1 million. Wow. So, I mean, that's far exceeding our normal operating budget. You really have to look outside for stuff like that, whether it's grants or bonds or something creative like that.
Yeah. So when a volunteer comes on, is that, can they use leftover stuff, or somebody who's not a volunteer that has moved on, or, or does it all have to be customized for them?
It really depends on the individual. I mean, because especially our turnout gear, the protective clothing we wear is totally based on the person's size and stuff. So typically when somebody starts, we do have a fair amount of used turnout so we can give them, especially during training. Training's really intensive in Fire Academy. They're crawling around on the ground and breaking doors down and stuff like that. And so in that kind of environment, it's okay to give them old gear. Some of it even has holes in it. But after someone graduates, they've shown that they're committed to our organization, and they're responding to calls and stuff. We want to make sure they have that protective gear that they need. And so after about a year or so with our organization, we'll order them brand new gear. Again, just the protective clothing we wear is about $7-8 grand. Wow. So it's definitely an investment for us and the individual, but it's really important it fits them well too, because if it's too tight, you can't do your job. If it's too loose, you're potentially exposing them to burns. So
yeah. So then for a volunteer, they just have to be willing and have the time. Do they have any expenses themselves in order to do that?
Not really, no. Yeah, everything's pretty much on us, and we're trying to get people in the door. So, so we pay for all the training, we pay for all the equipment they need. We actually, for people that are committed to organization, we are starting to put them through EMT training if that's an interest of theirs, which is several $1,000s. The closest program is through Blue Mountain in Pendleton. So, but we see that as investment for our organization and our community. So, yeah, we're happy to provide all that. There's no cost to the volunteer other than their time, really. Yeah.
So what is your operating budget per year?
Yeah, we just hit about $750 is our budget for this coming year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$750K.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then kind of, can you kind of give me an idea how that breaks down roughly, Sure. How much is admin and how much is, kind of give me the broad categories approximately.
Yeah. Well, the biggest part is salary. I mean, for myself and our other part-time employees, salary and benefits, like most places. We do keep a healthy equipment fund because our trucks and stuff require a lot of maintenance. I mean, every year they have to get inspected and checked. We have to make sure the fire pumps are working right. And this all has to be done by certified people. You can't just take it anywhere and do that. So that all adds up quickly. We've got overhead costs for our facility. We just have the one station in Island City. But obviously it takes money to keep a place like that running, keep the lights on, if you will. And then we try to stash away a healthy amount for future investments. Like I was saying, in the next few years, we're hoping to replace at least one of our fire engines. That requires quite a bit of an investment for that. And then our main station's in pretty good shape, but if you've seen the old fire station next to our current station, our plan in the next few years is to hopefully replace that, which would require expanding onto our current building. Yeah. And that obviously is not cheap either. That would require quite a bit of funding. So, but we really do have a need for that facility improvement. Our current kitchen area is in the back of the bays, and that's frowned upon. It exposes the guys to diesel fumes and stuff when we turn the trucks on. You don't want that in your kitchen. We don't really have a dedicated training area, and it would be great to have like a classroom where we can do either presentations, or the community could even use it, or set up different scenarios and that kind of thing. And then I think a great investment for us would be bunk rooms. We don't have anywhere for people to spend the night currently. But like I got my start as a student, and I think that would be a really great thing to bring to this area, where younger kids in school that want to do this as a career can kind of get their foot in the door and get that exposure and stuff, and we even give them a place to live. And that improves the response times too for our citizens, because they're right there at the station.
So right now, what is in the old building? What do you guys use that for? Or what is,
a big chunk of it is our gym. So it's obviously important for firefighters to stay in shape. So we provide the fitness equipment for our guys to use to be in good shape. And then another part is just the old apparatus bays, which is filled with equipment right now. So we have an air trailer. It's a county resource, but for our air bottles that we wear into a fire, anybody in the county can call for our air trailer, which is to refill those bottles on a major incident. And then we've got 3 vehicles that are normally parked in there, kind of a reserve brush rig, an older one for wildland fires, and a utility truck we use for kind of moving stuff around, and then a command vehicle that's used by what we call duty officers. They're the ones that would arrive on scene probably first and take command and start managing the scene.
And then tell me what major fire trucks you have, or what's in the other vehicle, in your main station.
Yeah, well, as far as quantity, we're doing pretty good. We've got 2 what are called Type 1 structural engines. So those are the big fire truck engines. One's kind of set up for the rural areas. It's got a little bit bigger water tank. So if we're out of town, we don't have hydrants nearby. we've got a little bit more water with us for that. The other one's kind of set up for in-town stuff. And it's nice having the redundancy there, right? Because stuff does break down, and there's times where you need multiple trucks on the same scene. We've got 2 brush rigs for wildland fires. Rescue, which is kind of our first out for medical emergencies or motor vehicle crashes. And we cover quite a bit of highway, including I-84, so that thing's kind of our busiest vehicle. And then 2 water tenders, which are to provide water to areas outside of town.
Yeah. Well, cool. So I guess looking at, now that you've kind of landed, and how long have you been on the job now?
About 6 weeks or so.
Okay, yeah. What are some priorities that have kind of emerged in your mind, do you think?
Yeah, well, a big part of volunteer engagement is training. We drill every Wednesday. Our guys come in and do about 2 hours of training, and it varies whether it's structural firefighting, wildland firefighting, rescue stuff. But having that engaging training program is really important, because when you volunteer your time, you want to make sure it's worth it. So,
right, yeah.
When they come down for drill, we want to make sure they're having a good time, they're learning something, and their time is valuable. So we're working with kind of getting a committee or work group set up right now to develop our training program into next year, make sure we're covering the required areas we have to meet per regulation, and then make sure that it's an engaging program for our guys too. And I mean, that just helps keep people active when they're interested in what they're doing. I think another thing would be the auxiliary program I talked about, because there is a big need for non-firefighting stuff on scenes, and to take a trained firefighter and have them do like a support role, that's not actual firefighting, you're not really using your resources in the best way. So if we can get some volunteers that can do kind of that ancillary stuff and help out on scene where we don't have to use a trained firefighter, that would be super helpful for us. Another big aspect is just our regional cooperation, which is really good right now, like I said, but there's definitely an opportunity. There's little fire districts scattered all across our area, and we all kind of operate independently to some extent. And then you've got City of LeGrand is the only paid department in our area, but we all do work really well together. But there's definitely an opportunity for like a regional training center or something like that, where we would have the facilities, that any district can use.
Mm-hmm.
It's not owned by like a one district per se or something like that.
Yeah. So, and I've been in the new fire area. I mean, in the building that you guys are in, your main one. And when you enter, part of it is administration, mm-hmm. some offices, but the most part of it is just open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our apparatus bay, so that's where the vehicles park.
Yeah.
And then that's what I was saying, like the kitchen and the training area
are right there.
Now are right there behind the vehicles. So long term, we'd like to expand our building, get rid of that old building probably, because it's not exactly structurally sound at this point. It's been around a long time, and expand a little bit so we can have a dedicated kitchen, living area, and training facilities.
Yeah, it's funny because my father-in-law is Ed Hagley, and he's 90 now, and he owned and started Valley Realty in the late 60s. Okay. Well, and so we were driving by the other day, and he goes, "Yeah, when I served as a volunteer, that was the only building that we had, and pointed to the older structure, and he has stories of volunteering and going out, and I think he did that for 15 years or something like that. So, so you were going to come on with Nick Vora a couple of weeks ago, mm-hmm. yeah, and so I mean, Nick has a variety of experience, kind of like you do, yeah. Right. So you guys have you hit it off, and like you probably talk shop, don't you?
Yeah. It's interesting comparing notes with Nick because a lot of our background's pretty similar. He does a ton of different stuff, as you know, search and rescue, emergency management. He's one of our volunteer captains. So when he's not doing all his other jobs, he helps us out. So a little bit of everything. So we have a lot of similarities there because I've got my search and rescue background too, law enforcement background and stuff like that. So it's nice to compare notes with him. And I mean, one thing again about this being a smaller community and a lot of rural stuff, it's really important for the different agencies to work together. Whether we're talking law enforcement, fire, EMS, ODF, like we all have really good working relationships, and that's really important because on a major thing, it's going to require all of us together, and we got to be on the same page. So
yeah. Is there anything that has been like, a positive surprise for you? Like, because going from bigger area to smaller, it's like this feels really good for you. There's been things like that in the work world, and I don't know. I'm just is there anything that's been like you really enjoyed?
I think just, how well everybody works together here is refreshing. Unfortunately, there can be some ego in the fire service, and so other places I've been, there's kind of some infighting between districts. They're fighting over coverage areas or funding or whatever it is. Which I never really understood, but over here there doesn't seem to be any of that. Like all the agency heads work really well together, the different chiefs and stuff. On the field level, like we integrate really well. Just last week we had a couple smaller wildland fires, and I mean we had my staff, we had ODF there, we had the city, other rural fire districts like Union or Embler came to help us, and we all kind of just come in and do what needs to be done, take care of the problem. I mean, there's not attitude, there's not ego, and so I've really appreciated that about the LeGrand area.
That's awesome. Good. Well, Brady, thank you. Thanks for being here. Is there anything else that if somebody wants to volunteer, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can call the fire station or go to our website, legrandfire.com, or we're on Facebook. Any of those methods, reach out, send us a message, give us a call, and we'd be happy to talk to you. And another thing to talk about would be fire season. This weather has made me feel better getting ready for 4th of July and fireworks, but it's going to dry out a little bit by the end of the week. So I just have to say I hope people are responsible, make good decisions, right? Light your fireworks if you're going to do it in a cleared area, have water there, have somebody responsible watching them, seeing what's going on, making sure we don't get any sparks out in dry grass and that kind of thing. It could be a really interesting summer, as most people have heard. So our resources have already been spread kind of thin. So it just makes it even more important for our community members, our citizens, to do their part, right? Be responsible with what you're doing. If you're burning, if you're using fireworks or power tools, now is the time to clear vegetation from around your home and make that defensible space, not when the fire's charging at your place. So, yeah.
Yep. All righty. Well, hey, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Great to be here.
Yeah. Glad that, okay, so today we're going to do the On This Day thing. This is the thing that Kyle normally does, but here we go. So on this day in 1864, Yosemite Grant Act was signed by the President Abraham Lincoln, bestowing 200,000 acres to the state of California, establishing America's first state-controlled park. I would imagine that's Yosemite Park. In 1908, a giant fireball, most likely caused by an airburst of a large meteoroid or comet, flattens 880 million trees near Stony Tuscany River in Russia, the largest impact event in recorded history. In 1836, Margaret Mitchell's novel Gone with the Wind is published. in 1994. Pre-trial hearings open to in LA against the O.J. Simpson. Man, I remember that whole fiasco. In 2019, President Donald Trump becomes the first sitting U.S. president to set foot in North Korea in the Korean demilitarized zone, meeting Kim Jong-un. And the #1 song on this day in 2025, Ordinary by Alex Warden. And I have no idea who that is or what that song is, but anyhow. Quote of the day: do not wait to strike till the iron is hot. Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make it hot by striking. William Butler Yeats. Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make it hot by striking. All right. Hey, thanks you guys for being here with us. Thanks, Brady, for jumping in. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
So, all righty. And we will see you guys soon.